Now, today we will discuss question number 4 of lesson number 1, decentralization. Now, this is the question of postmodernist critic of democratic decentralization. ये क्वेश्चन जो है ये दिसंबर में 2010 क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन एंड गवर्नेंस पेपर में क्वेश्चन लेसन नंबर फर्स्ट का क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 आया है. सो ये भी बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. क्रिटिक्स, अभी तक हमने इम्पोर्टेंस पढ़ा डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन का. नाउ वी विल सी द क्रिटिसिज्म. इसके क्रिटिक्स क्या है, क्या क्रिटिसिज्म आया है इसमें, हाउ इट इज़ इफ़ेक्टिव और इसमें कितना क्रिटिसिज्म है, कितना ये अच्छा है डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. पोस्ट मॉडर्निस्ट क्रिटिक advocate public participation in planning processes including indigenous idea.
Currently recording.
रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है. शुरू. हाँ, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 तक हमने किया पूरा डिस्कस व्हाट इज़ डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. अब हमने उसका इम्पोर्टेंस भी पता चला. नाउ वी विल डिस्कस द क्रिटिक्स. क्रिटिक्स क्या है डेमोक्रेटिक डिसेंट्रल. पोस्ट मॉडर्निस्ट क्रिटिक एडवोकेट्स पब्लिक पार्टिसिपेशन इन प्लानिंग processes including indigenous idea. Also, as per the new public management role back of the state, phenomena, perception, ways brings explode to make governance more broad-based, participatory and representative in the sense of creating options, alternatives to governance, to government monopoly over public goods, services, provision, innocentric order by involving the private, corporate sector and other civil society actors such as interest groups, pressure groups, non-government and community-based organizations in matters of governance, polycentric order. The aim as per postmodern approach is to impart a pluralist representative character to the modern nation state, moving beyond the limitations of oneness to incorporate emphasis diversity on religious, linguistic, ethnic at all lines by articulating the same in policy craft in order to institutionalize minority representation. As per public choice critic, such majority orientation negates democracy since the opportunity cost of options foregone in policy choices in favor of one alternative transfers into real costs to the society both in tangible and intangible terms. Apart from the political marginalization of affected groups by which democracy is rendered less representative, consequently policy choices and decisions get tinged with arbitrary character which confuses the idea purpose of public interest, which is the central theme of public policy. Such governance is not efficient since it is less rational in the sense of inclusiveness of the process of articulating public interest in all political, economic and social aspects. As per World Bank explanations, democratic decentralization implies more than the downward delegation of authority. इससे हमें यही पता चलता है। अब क्रिटिक्स कह रहे हैं कि इतना इन्वॉल्वमेंट, गवर्नमेंट, ग्रुप्स, ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, पोस्ट मॉडर्न अप्रोच जो है, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव कैरेक्टर, सबका इन्वॉल्वमेंट लेकर चलेंगे, दैट इज़ प्लूरलिज्म इन द गवर्नेंस, कितना वो प्रोग्रेसिव रहेगा नहीं रहेगा, इट डिपेंड्स। तो एज पर वर्ल्ड बैंक एक्सप्लेनेशन, डेमोक्रेटिक डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन implies more than the downward delegation of authority. It entails a system of governance in which citizens possesses the right to hold local public officials accountable through the use of elections, grievance meetings, and democratic means. Decentralization is purported to be democratic as the key word is accountability of officials to the local public. The three main arguments most cited in favor of democratic decentralization as a legitimate end to the value of public freedom, encompassing all virtues aforesaid, are as follows. Democratic decentralization makes developmental policy more responsive to public interest, since problems can best be understood. Now, decentralization, critics say if it works, it is good. We will take involvement of all the public, whether it is in government, different organizations and all, it is. But democratic decentralization makes development policy more responsiveness. Now, as per World Bank explanation, for them it is good. Delegations, authority like elections are there. There should be grievance meetings. These things will help in decentralization. This is how, if it works properly, if people are involved, if there is there should be environmental protection, and law and orders are very important, where the contribution of local bodies is expected to be significant. It empowers local communities who are otherwise usually precise with regard. So in this question, the conclusion is that it is good to have decentralization. Some critics say it is not efficient, it won't work, but above all, it works if we will take it, we will consult, everybody will be involved, then there will be development of so many things, law and order situation, public grievances, everything will be in its proper role if we will involve everybody, like civil society actors efficiently articulate and press for public interest. So all the problems public face, like in rural or urban areas, everything will be solved when there will be decentralization. That is, if we will decentralize the rules, like there will be bifurcations of all rules and regulations, every decision, and it should be public should be involved in such, not only government or government personnel, but other than that. So it is question number 4. I hope you must have understood this. मैं हिंदी में भी तभी समझाती हूँ, अगर आपको समझ नहीं आता है तो आप मुझे कमेंट में लिखेंगे कि कहाँ पर आपको डाउट है, देन आई विल मेक टू अंडरस्टैंड यू ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, कहाँ आपको लगता है. देन नोट्स आर देयर, you will go through the notes. I think you will understand. It is quite easy, it's not that difficult. So, and it is, above all, it is to the point. There is no vague statements, neither it is too lengthy. So I hope you will go through. Then it is free of cost. You will ask me, explain twice, thrice one question. You should not have understood. I am there to help you. जितनी बार आप बोलेंगे उतनी बार मैं समझाऊंगी. जान डाउट हो वो मैं आपको क्लियर करूंगी. आप मैसेज में लिखेंगे. आप जब भी आप लिखेंगे तभी मैं आगे और मटेरियल आपको दे दूंगी और नोट्स लोड करूंगी और आपको समझाऊंगी. जो ही मुझे पता चलेगा कि आपने कितना समझा, आप कितना ये पढ़ चुके हैं, तो आप ये करें. इसको जितना आप देखोगे, लाइक करोगे, सब्सक्राइब करोगे, उतना मुझे पता चलेगा, उतना मैं ज़्यादा आपके लिए अपलोड करूँगी ऑल द नोट्स. एंड मैं आपको समझाऊंगी भी जहाँ आपको समझ नहीं आएगा. नाउ वी विल कम टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. इट इज़ एग्जामिन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डायमेंशंस ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन इन इंडिया. ये क्वेश्चन जून 2009 में आया है डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन एंड गवर्नेंस पेपर में, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. सो इट इज़ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट. हर एक क्वेश्चन के साथ मैंने दिया गया है कौन सा क्वेश्चन किस ईयर में आया है. इससे आपको हेल्प मिलेगा कि कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है क्वेश्चन. यू विल डू दोज क्वेश्चन जो भी इम्पॉर्टेंट. अदरवाइज इट इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट कि सारा कुछ पढ़ना, सब कुछ मगअप करना. इट्स वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट. और मैं जो क्वेश्चंस आपको देती हूँ, एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ, वो ही बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. द सब्जेक्ट एग्जामिन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डायमेंशंस ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. अब हम आए, पहले इसका रोल देखा कि अगर डिसेंट्रलाइज हुआ तो कितना हेल्पफुल है. फिर इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस हमने देखी. फिर हमने पढ़ा कि क्रिटिक्स क्या कहते हैं रिगार्डिंग दिस. अब हम आए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डायमेंशंस ऑफ डेमोक्रेटिक डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन इन इंडिया. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल क्या है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डायमेंशंस क्या है. द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ लोकल गवर्नमेंट हैज़ बीन enshrined in 7th schedule under article 246 of Indian Constitution. The entry is very wide and empowers the state legislature to legislate with respect to local government. That is to say, the constitution and powers of municipal corporation, local authorities for the purpose of local self-government or village administration. The state government can also confront such powers, including the power of taxation, to a local authority as it itself possesses. The only constitutional provision which can be evoked is the presidential veto over state legislation, which have been referred by the state governor. In this content, it is also important to refer to the directive principles of state policy that initiated some of the enabled principles. The Constitution 73 and 74th Constitution Amendment Bill discuss the inspiration from Article 40, 46, 47, 48 and 48A of the Indian Constitution. Article 40 deals with the organization of village panchayat. The promise held out is that the state shall take steps to organize village panchayats and enroll them, which such powers and authority as may be the necessary to enable them to Article 46 deals with the promotion of educational and economic interests, then 40 of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other weaker sections. Article 47 Article 47 enumerates the duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living people, improvement public health among the primary duties, and in particular takes steps for preserving and improving. Now, Constitution, what Constitution says that this should help in like 74th Article 74, 46, 47, 48, 47, 40. In these articles, they show that there should be standard of living improvement. Then health education is important for lower sections. Then infrastructure should be there, shelter should be there. Then good education should be provided for poor also. So in all respect there should be improvement. If we will do decentralization, we will involve whole public their decision, and in short there should be improvement in the country. Article 48 stipulates that the state shall endeavor should protect and improve the environment and safeguard for the forest wildlife of the country. So these all points shows us, if we will decentralize, what is the main role of decentralization. That rule should be like this: there should be complete development in every sphere, that health education, civic sense. Then for poor people there should be proper education, medical aid, everything should be properly. It will come when we will discuss things with the common people, not only with the government. So move for constitutional status. It is another point of question number 5. The movement for vesting panchayat bodies with constitutional. So these all changes will come when we will set panchayats, we will consult people, gained momentum particularly in the period 85 to 92 with initiative provided by the Prime Minister Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. 5 workshops of district magistrates and collectors were organized between December 1987 and June 88 at different places in the country on the generic theme of responsive administration. The broad census emerging out of these deliberations was that a democratic framework as the local level with the constitutional legitimacy was essential to develop these institutions as responsive instruments of planning and development at the local level. This was essential for bottom-up policy planning, which is the identified goal of a representative democracy. It had been observed for some time that rural and urban local bodies could not function effectively. Their growth throughout the country had been patchy and uneven. There was lack of uniformity with respect to the institutional setup, powers and functioning and resources also. There were political and administrative hurdles like bureaucracy to share power and resources, which could be explained as partly owing to lack of trust in administrative circles regarding the efficacy and legitimacy of local institutions as instruments of representative democracy and primary actors medium in for national building. Hence, problems like irregular elections, lack of funds, frequent supersessions, and dominance of the bureaucracy continually uh, throughout local cells, government attempts at the grassroots level. It was felt that this was so due to lack of dignity and status attendant on constitutional guarantee. It was therefore accepted, realized that constitutional status was inherent to secure timely elections, periodic and appropriate funds, avoid frequent dissolutions, institute planning at the to ensure the status of viable and responsive local bodies, especially to enable a certain on their part of their the agent of national development against panchayat uh, panchayat institutions and arguments held acquired considerable weight post CDF community development program and the subsequent shift to approach in rural area. So, move to constitution. What was constitutional status? During Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, there were 5 workshops for district magistrates and collectors were organized between 1987 and 1988, between 87 and as different places in the country on the generic theme of responsive and administration. Like their work was, it was in constitution that there should be a workshop in which magistrates, collectors, it is their job to see the all framework of local level and to see the framework, to see the broad consequences, all framework at the local level with constitutional legitimacy. So it was all their job to see whether it will work or not, how it will work when they will they have organized that workshops and all. They met people, they have made so many plans how to work all these things. Now Balwant Mehta to the GDP development strategy in the 1970s. The GDP was launched in selected blocks across the country. The program aimed at rural development through the people's active participation, but it didn't fulfill what they have thought. It was not fulfilled what they envisaged. A study team was formed under Balwant Rai Mehta to inquire into the cause behind the failure of the GDP. A 3-tier model was suggested by Balwant Mehta. The model was accepted, the followed up by states. By now, the rural development strategy also called for a major shift to increase productivity in fertile areas by means of science and technology in agriculture. The shift was necessary to solve the 1960s food crisis that plagued India. However, this shift also caused a related policy shift in favor of the rich farmers. It resulted in imbalanced regional development. So there were so many problems, like GDP was not successful in so many areas. There were so many problems when it comes decentralization comes, the move when it was in the constitution, when uh, eh, there was the implementation of the constitution. There were so many problems. GDP was not worked successfully, and there was other crises, like in other areas means of science technology was affected. Agriculture, the shift was necessary to solve the 1960s food crisis was there. However, it resulted in imbalanced regional development. Regional development to, to remedy the imbalance, the structural development schemes were launched which could be implemented by the state machinery through the bureaucracy and not the local institution. So it was they were development, there was other development schemes were launched which could be implemented by the state machinery through the bureaucracy and not the local institutions. However, this change in power shift to bureaucracy led scholars to analyze the community development programs like CDP. It is learned that failure to stir up people's participation along with administrative hurdles and the power strife between the Panchayat Raj institution and the bureaucracy is the main reason behind the failure of CDP. CDP. CDP is Community Development Program. CDP. So it hasn't worked properly because there was failure. There was a total failure. Only local institutions shift from panchayat to Raj to institutions to bureaucracy. Again, vested bureaucracy with the right as a principal. So it was not properly. It didn't work properly. There was not such development in the community because it was not. It was not that what they were doing, what they were thinking of doing, of implementing. However, this change in power shift to bureaucracy led scholars to analyze the Community Development Program (CDP). It is learned that failure to stir up people's participation along with administration and administrative hurdles and the power strife between the Panchayat Raj and institution and the bureaucracy is the main reason behind the failure. So bureaucracy, like bureaucrats, they couldn't do that much. Like they have there were organizations like in the ministry when late Rajiv Gandhi Prime Minister was there, was they have implemented that five workshops in which councillors, these consulates, collectors, then they used to work, they have organized, but those bureaucrats, they couldn't do such improvement was not there, and there was failure of CDP. CDP means community development programs were failed. So uh, when there was the Mehta committee, the report of agriculture need for constitutional status to PFIs for long-term viability. So there was so many problems like in agriculture also. Power under the leadership of P.V. Narasimha Rao. Subsequently, the 73rd and 74th Amendment bills were introduced and passed in December 1992. Local institutions are now envisaged as three-tier development agencies. Significant. Now there was implementation in the when Narasimha Rao was Prime Minister. That time they have passed the 73rd, 74th amendment bills where they introduced and they introduced these bills and passed in December 92. Local institutions are now envisaged as three-tier development agencies. Significant innovations in the district planning committee, which would institutionalize development planning at the micro level. The issued area based spatial planning and integrated rural urban planning has also been dealt with. Then when Narasimha Rao, other two bills were amendments were passed, in that local organizations are there to help the development of, but still issues are there, still it is not properly implemented.